Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, and it's that time again for another CA developer interview. So without further ado, we're going to hop straight into this and see what they have to show us today.
Hi everyone, I'm Steve Khorne,
here we go.
Senior Community Manager on Total War, and I'm once again sat down with some of the lovely development team for Warhammer 3.
Steve is our avatar.
The next DLC and update 6.0.
Also, I'm going to be talking
before we dive into
a lot, so if you want to like listen to them and be like, Sotek, shut up, then go watch it yourself and then come back.
Director. I look after the entirety of the Total War Warhammer trilogy.
Good old Rich. This is a really nice quality camera.
Tell us who you are, what you do, and maybe just some highlights of stuff you've worked on in the past.
I like the Forge World.
Josh. I'm a battle designer on the Warhammer 3 DLC team, and I had the absolute pleasure of working on Chaos Dwarfs and, of course, Thrones of Decay. And yeah, just like with those DLCs.
Josh King, okay, I haven't seen him before.
Got lined up for this.
Awesome, thanks, Josh. And Chris, another new face to our videos. Who are you? What do you do?
Sean this time.
What have you done before?
So my name's Chris. I'm the Project Audio Director on Warhammer 3 DLC, and I've worked on various bits of Total War games in the past. I think
I like that they brought in a new crew, so we can get some like different,
DLC, which was
different perspectives, so maybe some new information.
Battle on that one, that was quite good fun. So yeah.
Quaddle should have a beak. Anyway,
let's jump in with a little update on where we're at with development.
I'm triggered.
Rich, do you want to give us a little update on what's happening?
Triggered.
Yeah. We're into the thick of it. So I think last time we said that we were.
I love that artwork in the back.
Moving into the iteration period. So we're still in that. We're still playing the game. We're still looking at what we need to improve and change. And I think she wanted like solve some of the puzzles. So that's what we're still focused on, fixing some bugs, making changes around that.
Good.
Chris will tell you a little bit more about the audio side of that as well.
Yeah, our team are very, very busy. We're flat out at the moment, so all the amazing work that the character artists and animators and VFX artists have done, it's now all culminating in the audio phase now, so we take all that stuff.
That's good.
Our team just help bring the world of and characters from Warhammer Total War to life.
Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, we'll look a bit more into that a bit later on. Is there anything new that we can reveal today about the factions, like some new units or some bits you've been working on?
Please.
That you'd like to talk about today?
Please, more goodies.
I mean, Josh, if we pass over to you, maybe if you want to talk about the ogres, if there's anything you can reveal about what's coming with them.
Oh, absolutely. We can start off with the Paymaster. Quite an interesting.
Oh shoot!
We all know that the ogres love their meat,
whoa! Okay, I'm gonna stop you there for a second. Ogre Paymaster. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so this will be the Lord. A Paymaster. Huh. That's it. I would not have thought of that. That's super interesting. So so for those that don't know, the Paymaster is a thing. It traditionally is not an ogre, but the Paymaster actually originates from the Dogs of War army book back in 5th edition, and the Paymaster was literally a general that you had to have in a Dogs of War army, and basically he was a guy that had this big chest of money, and the idea was that he was paying the mercenaries in your Dogs of War army, so he functioned like a general, but he had some kind of unique interactions. Generally speaking, he wasn't like a super crazy good fighter or anything like that. He was more of a support character. But taking that character and making them into an ogre and then having that be the new generic ogre lord is actually really clever, I think. Because an ogre paymaster would make a ton of sense, especially among like Goldfag's lads and the other ogres. Like, ogres really value gold. They're very heavily motivated by it. So having a more mercenary focused leader running around and in charge of the ogres is actually very clever. That is super interesting to me. Because now that I think about it, I think if we ever are fortunate enough, which I really hope we will be, to get a Southern Realms or a Talayan faction in Total War, I don't think the Paymaster would necessarily be like the best option for a leader, because a Paymaster is very much like kind of a pure mercenary type leader. I would want something that's more of an actual lord or hero that identifies with Talaya or the Southern Realms more specifically, as opposed to just a regular mercenary leader. So taking that character concept and bringing it over to the Ogre Kingdoms and making us an Ogre Paymaster, I think is extremely clever. And hopefully, I assume that he's going to be very much a support-focused character. So where your Tyrant is going to be your, I'm going to run out there and do a beat-em-up type situation. And then your Slaughtermaster is your casting character who brings your magic to the fore. The Paymaster can be, very similar to like the Empire's General or the Grand Cathay's Magistrate Lord or whatever he's called. We're very, very support heavy. So I really hope he has some good support skills. Though, of course, he is an ogre, so I imagine that he's going to be pretty good at walloping on people. Oh, that's sick. I love his design. He's got like all the little pay chests around his belly armor. And he's got like a nice mix of like looking that he can afford some like fancy gear, but he still travels a lot with all like the patchwork stuff. That's slick.
Also, one other
Slick,
thing
slick,
that
slick,
they
slick, slick, slick,
love,
slick.
and that's their gold. And the Paymaster sort of serves to be that reminder.
I apologize
in
if you can
battle
hear the
that if he dies,
trash
or
guys outside.
if you're
I'll mute
not
myself.
performing well enough in battle, you're not getting paid. So he'll sort of fulfill that support role that the ogres don't necessarily have in combat, and will specialise in primarily enhancing a battle unit's capabilities in combat.
You've been doing audio for Paymaster, I assume, as well. So, is there anything you can tell us about that? How's that been?
Yeah, so whenever we're looking at a unit, we're always trying
Had
to
to
think about what's
the windows
about
open
them,
and
or
close
some
them.
characteristic we want to bring to
So,
life.
okay, it sounds like
So
he
the
is going to be a
Sounds team
support
have done a
character,
really
which
good
is
job,
really, really good.
Bringing
Very
out,
exciting.
your
It's gonna be
gears
buffing
with
your units.
gold and chains and all clinking around, so it really brings out his characteristics. Yeah, he does like gold. Yeah, he's a big
You should
big fan
show
of
us
money.
some of the
So,
audio.
yeah, that's just
Show
helps
us.
characterise him a
Show
little bit and
us.
bring him to life, yeah.
I think his little Noblar likes it as well. That sits on his shoulder. Or...
Oh, does he have a lookout Noblar?
Yeah.
What else is coming with?
Oh,
the
that's
ogres?
gonna be
There's gotta more
awesome.
that you can tell us.
Oh, absolutely. One thing I think people will really like is the pigback riders.
Oh
It's
my
such an absurd
pigback
unit when you think
riders!
about it, when you've got this
Oh my god.
vast, diverse world where you have giants, demons,
Freaking
and all sorts of monstrosities.
Noblars. Oh
And then
man.
you've got two Noblars piggybacking on each other. They're a fun unit. They're going to specialise as sort of a early
That's so
anti-large
stupid.
infantry for the ogres. Very well coordinated as well, as you can imagine,
Anti-large
for
infantry.
individuals
So-
such as them on the battlefield.
So real quick, that's awesome. I'm actually pretty surprised, I'll admit. I was expecting man-biter Noblars because they're very heavily associated with like man-eaters. Because they're like the man-eater equivalent among Noblars because they're more heavily armored and stuff. But having pigback Noblars does make sense. Because pigback Noblars, the thing that they bring, which is really nice, is that their special rules on tabletop were quite literally basically anti-large Noblars. So they had a unique role of that they kind of counted as infantry spearmen while also counting as cavalry spearmen. They were like this weird hybridized unit. And they have a super funny history. You can go check out my Ogre predictions video, which I can probably link down the top comment, where I talk more about them and like how they started off as Noblars that were actually riding on the backs of pigs, but the pigs wouldn't go into battle because they would get too terrified. So the Noblars just started riding each other instead of the pigs, which makes for a hysterical unit. I'm really excited to see their animations. But I think Pigback Noblars will be a really good addition to the roster, because having like a decent anti-large infantry unit for your ogres is gonna add some good diversity. Along with, we've talked about the Blood Vultures and the Thunder Tusk and the Yetis. So there's actually only one more unit slot for the ogres we don't know about, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they'll be a bit difficult to hit, but
Which could be man-biter
they'll be well worth
Noblars.
the cost and recruitment in combat. And the other thing I would like to talk about in regards to them is they'll have a regiment of renown.
Nice.
Oh my god!
These guys, they're even more absurd. They have ventured into Bretonia, spent a bit of time there, and sort of enhanced their jousting skills. So they'll be bringing
Bretonian
a lot of
Noblars?
Bretonian gear into combat, all the helmets, the lances, and
That's
such.
so good.
Yeah, before I haven't seen the pictures yet, but
So
I've
they're
already got an image in
true.
my mind.
They're advanced
What that's gonna
peasants.
look like. So I'm looking forward to that.
Ogre-
super cool.
Ogre
Really
Bretonian
excited by
cavalry.
them. Elite premium ogre cavalry.
That's amazing.
While we're on the subject of ogres,
Noblars and
what's been
Bretonian
your
armor.
highlight
That's
of
gonna be.
working
I'm
on it
so
far
excited to see
with,
that.
With this DLC, have you got any favourite units or bits or mechanics that are coming into it that that you've enjoyed working on most?
Oh boy, they've all been honestly a blast to work on. Our artists and animators have done a fantastic job bringing them all to life.
I bet.
One unit in particular which has gotten me is the Eshin Man-Eater. That's another regiment of
what?
renown, we're going to be bringing in, and that guy is
We
he
got
spent
the
time with
ninja
Skaven,
ogre.
and he has picked up a few stealthy and sneaky skills
Oh
from
my
Skaven, and
God.
we're going to be bringing that
Oh
kind
my
of unit
God.
into the battlefield.
We
Imagine
got the
this large
ninja
who's
ogre.
probably the worst character in the room in regards to stealth, but he still manages to pull it off in combat somehow.
Impressive. Yeah.
Stealth
For anyone
ogre.
at home, if you're not sure what we're referring to, that's the ninja-looking man-eater ogre. So yeah, he looks really cool, and he's like a pseudo hero.
Oh my
isn't he?
god! Look at him.
Because
He's
it's
so
just
good.
him. It's just one. It's not a
Oh,
unit
he's not a
of them.
unit. He's just.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's interesting. So he's
Special guy
he's
to
a single
play around
entity.
in battle.
Absolutely.
Regiment of
We
Renown.
don't usually do units, for regiment renowns like that at least, but that's part of what.
That's
we're
interesting. So he's kind of
Is
like
there
a
anything else you
pseudo
can
legendary
tell us? Any
hero. That's
abilities or
cool.
anything to-
That's really cool.
to
Oh, I'm
shout
so
about
excited.
that are coming with the
I'm
ogres?
so excited for that
one thing in
character.
particular is for Golfag. It's an ability called Deadeye. But in this case, since Golfag's one of the more oldest accomplished ogres, he's also been through a lot, survived a lot as well. So during that time, you tend to pick up a lot of skills and proficiencies.
Fair.
In this case, Golfag's learned how to use the pistol to
Yes!
wear down and snipe people from a distance.
Yes!
So the
He
player will
uses
be
his
able to
pistol.
pick
Thank
any
you.
Target, well, not any target, any
Thank
character
you.
they
I
want,
hate
and
when
if
characters
they
have guns
wanna
and,
wear
or
them down,
like
maybe just a
equipment
pop
that they
shot
don't
or even
use.
finish them off as they're routing. Well, Golfag will be able to deliver that, that's for sure.
Pa! Yes, good. Deadeye
let's not.
man-eater. Deadeye gold bag. Hell yeah.
Let's have a look at Orcs and Goblins. Rich, you're going to tell us a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've talked a lot about Khorne recently, so I guess that's what we're not talking about now.
I got my things the wrong way round.
But yeah, Orcs and Goblins, there's some cool stuff coming. You might notice on the table, got a few spider riders down there. And there's a big reason around that. We're going to be doing Snagla Grobspit.
Oh, interesting.
So like we mentioned,
Wow,
last
Snagla
time,
looks
Goldback
amazing.
is kind of a master of all the different,
That's
orcs and goblins and trolls and everything that makes up that
interesting.
their roster. This is now the forest goblins that are going to be coming.
I
to the
thought
party
they'd go with
Snagla.
Catilla.
If you don't know too much about Snagla, he's an 8th edition character. He's a
Go
forest goblin that rides around.
Watch
big
my
old
green skin
giant
prediction
spider.
video. I'll link that as well down below with the
Actually
other
had
two.
His regiment of renown, his boys, if you like, the Death Creepers, in since.
Yeah, the Death Creepers got added with
crikey,
Scar
what was it?
Stick. So like the
not
third
Warden the Paunch.
third
Way
DLC.
back. King of the Warlord.
Yeah, King of the
So, like,
Warlord. Yeah,
really old school. So
Warhammer
he's been
1.
hiding out somewhere in the Drac Wild, and we finally caught him, and now we're still
Ooh.
playing the game. And as
I-
you might imagine, for a forest goblin, he's all about poison.
I
So you can
love
expect some
that.
skills and some buffs and abilities all around that, which accentuate not only his skill on the battlefield, but also his Death Creeper units and then his army as a whole. So he's going to be a fun one. Looking forward to seeing him rock up. And then alongside that, we're also going to be introducing a new hero. So that's going to be the Night Goblin.
Oh, Night Goblin
and
Big
this hero
Boss.
is going to be all about,
Huh.
again, accentuating things around squids.
I like the hook hand.
So as you've seen in the past, we've introduced the colossal squig, so I expect him to be able to like wrangle them and do some funky things there. And
So that's it. Wow, that's a really diverse. That's a very diverse set. So you're getting. We've talked about Gorbat Ironclaw, who's like a melee focus pig lord, and then you get the Savager Great Shaman as the Lord, which is our first full Savage Orc character, who also is like our first Big Wah generic caster. Then we're getting Snagla Grobspit, who is our first Spider Goblin character, Forest Goblin character. And then the Night Goblin Big Boss, which is fascinating because that means, so we pretty much have the full Night Goblin roster. Literally the only like Night Goblin character type we don't have is the Night Goblin Great Shaman. But like you can now play like a Scarstint campaign and just have like Night Goblins for days. Which is super interesting. That's a really interesting choice to go with the Night Goblin Big Boss. It wouldn't have been my preference. I think I would have preferred. That's interesting. I think I would have probably preferred like I think I would have preferred a Savage Orc Big Boss. I think that would have been a bit of a more meaningful addition, because that would have given us like a dedicated anti-large character and also like another good Savage Orc choice. And I think that would have been a more well-rounded pick, as opposed to like we have the Goblin Big Boss, so the Night Goblin Big Boss. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad by any means. It sounds like from what Rich was saying that he's going to be kind of focused more on squigs. So I do think he's going to be fun. I'm curious. Like I will say, if they make him more like the squig, the what do you call it? The squig herder from Warhammer Online: Age of Reckoning, that would be sick. I don't think that's what they're gonna do, but that's what I would really love to see, is for him to have like squig mechanics. But I will say, I really hope they either give the Night Goblin Big Boss or the regular Goblin Big Boss a shooting attack, because that would help really differentiate them beyond because otherwise, like, the only real difference is going to be that the Goblin Big Boss can ride spiders and wolves and chariots, and the Night Goblin Big Boss can ride squigs, and that's going to be like the only meaningful difference, which is fine. I mean, it's not the only meaningful difference, but it would be like the biggest one. I feel like they should probably, I think if it were up to me personally, I would love to see the regular Goblin Big Boss get a bow, so that he could be kind of like a hybridized class. So he's like melee and ranged. So he's kind of like a hybrid assassin. That way he's able to run around with like Goblin Wolf Riders and Goblin Spider Riders. And he also has a shooting attack, so he melds like really well with those units. It could enhance like their shooting abilities in addition to just being a decent assassin. And then you have the Night Goblin Big Boss be melee only. And he's far more about like buffing your squigs, but also is like a really dedicated melee assassin. So I do hope they make some changes to the Goblin Big Boss to kind of help make them more unique when next to each other.
The other squigs that we've already got in the game. What else have we got? We've got loads more. Black Orcs. So we're doing Black Orcs with shields.
Interesting.
I know a lot of you have asked for a long amount
Black
of time.
Orcs with shields is a
DLC
unit.
New unit. They've got these really big, scrappy shields with the colourful sort of faces on them, tough as nails, and they're going to be joining the fray as a new unit as a part of the DLC.
So
let's take a look at Khorne.
Okay, so what I'll say is that's great. A lot of people, myself included, have been begging for Black Orcs with shields. It's interesting to me that they're making them part of the DLC. Obviously, they've kind of had a thing going with adding in new unit variants as free LC, where we've had the Graveguard with halberds, and we've had, oh god, what was the other one? Orc boys and goblins with sword and shield. So I don't think this is like a bad thing. They don't have to make every unit variant free. I think it's fine for them to be DLC from time to time. I will say that if they're gonna make them DLC, I hope that they look really fucking cool. Like, they need to have new assets. So hopefully, I mean, he kind of mentioned it a little bit, but hopefully they have just like a really vibrant new appearance. Maybe some like new animations or something. I don't mind it. So for Greenskins so far, we've had confirmed the Colossal Squig, now Black Orcs with shields. I don't know if they've confirmed anything else yet. I think those are the only things that I recall being like 100% confirmed. So, I mean, there's still plenty they could do. Like, it's gonna be interesting to see. I very much hope we're getting. The big one for me is I really hope we're getting. Well, I don't know. Like, a part of me would prefer getting Mangler Squigs, the Squig Gaba, and like either the Savage Orc Big Stabba or the gigantic Spider Riders. Not gonna get everything I want in this DLC, which is fine. I'm realizing that greenskins are definitely gonna have enough room for like one more DLC. So I will make a video about that once, but I'm gonna wait until I know what the full roster is. So I'm gonna wait until I know the full roster, then we can talk about that. But Black Orcs with Shields, I hope they look really cool. I think that's a perfectly fine option. I don't think CA like owes us variant units as free LC. I think that would be kind of an unhealthy mindset. But because they're nice to have from time to time. But I do hope that there's a logic behind it. As to why would Black Orcs with Shields be DLC, but like the other ones be free LC. And it could just be that they're like, hey, like, so I hope they look very, very cool. I'll leave it at
that. Josh, I think you're going to tell us a bit more about some of the units that are coming, some new ones that we can reveal today.
Yeah, so one we can reveal right now is the Lord, the Blood Speaker.
Hey, the Blood Speaker!
All about the fighting, killing for the skulls and blood and gore and all that.
I was right. I was
the Blood
right.
Speaker introduces a new sort of role for him. So support role, specializes in buffing friendly units around him. But he also encompasses the best of Khorne, which, as I've just stated, fighting everything. So this is a character you can easily have enhance your units in combat just by just getting him stuck in, and he'll be durable for that. That's for sure.
So he's a priest support character.
Zangors, Pestigors.
Oh, show me.
Khorngors.
Show me.
And
look at the Khorngors. Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, so the Khorngors. That's really funny. Okay, so they look pretty much exactly like their older artwork, where they have like the big Khorne symbol on their foreheads, as like a piece of metal attached. I love them. Oh, they're super fun. The heavy chainmail is super cool. That definitely makes them like really unique looking among beastmen. All that heavy chain looks sick. I love all the skulls. I love all the Khorne symbols. These I don't know if I like the Pestigors more or these guys more. These guys might be my favorite. I like that they've got ram horns, kind of like coming down instead of like the more typical horns. These guys look really good. These look excellent. Yeah, no, I'm 100% cool with these. Very distinct, very cool looking. I think as far as appearance goes, these are probably my favorite of the God Gores, which is saying a lot because I love Pestigors. I'm curious what weapons they'll have, because Pestigors are great weapons, so really heavy AP. Zongors obviously are sword and board with barrier, so they're pretty tanky.
Unit, to say the least.
Let's see.
They'll have a anti-large sort of
nice.
The actual roster, so sort of mid. So you can
anti-large
the Chaos Warriors with Hellbeards or with the Khorngors. But one thing that sets the Khorngors apart is they have the best qualities of a Gore unit from the Beastmen roster. So they'll have abilities such as Primal Fury, Frenzy, and of course, as Khorne is ever so watching combat, if they fall below its expectations, they will certainly get a buff that will make sure that when they kill, they're doing it right.
Okay, so they're an aggressive halberd unit?
It would be quite a fun one to do audio
awesome.
For. Has there been any?
I wonder what Slongors are going to do then.
That you want to talk about?
Because kind of you have all the bases kind of covered. I guess like dual weapons for Slongors.
I think it got
awesome.
pretty excited.
Awesome.
I know that the Slaughter Brute got one of our team members particularly excited. He's actually a metal singer in a band. And
sorry, I know I'm pausing a lot, but so for Khorne, we now know it's Slaughter Brute, Khorngors, which look fantastic, and then pretty sure we're going to be getting Wrathmongers and Skull Reapers. So we got one more empty space.
I think it was like a match made in heaven, really. So he wanted to lend his vocal skills. It's quite terrifying, actually, what he can do playing like. And yeah, the Slaughter Brute is, without a doubt, the angriest sounding creature on the battlefield at the moment. So yeah, I was just reviewing it this morning with the team, and it's starting to sound really good.
Ooh! Ooh! I love him. He sounds great.
You know, we looked at abilities for ogres.
See, that's what they should have done for the Paymaster earlier. But yeah, that's great. I'm glad the audio team is getting to show
Is there
off.
any
That's great.
for Khorne, for Skull Taker, that you can tell us about?
Yeah, so he'll have his Cloak of Skulls ability. You'll have various means of enhancing it on the campaign side, but on the battle side, Skull Taker's a character you'll want to send against other legendary lords and lord characters in general. He's very good at one-on-one dueling, but the Cloak of Skulls
As he should be,
sort of
as he
enhance
should be.
defensive capabilities. In combat, providing he's got lots and lots of kills, his defensive stats will be progressively buffed. So this is a character which you'll send against other characters, ideally with these stats enhanced. So you could get the best out of him and make him even more durable.
Okay, so you
let's
want
just
him
say
to kill
opposing side will
Chaff
have a
and
really
then
tough time
duel.
against him.
So are those buffs?
He seems
enhanced
nervous on
by
camera.
the
What a
amount of
sweetheart.
Skulls he's taken, essentially.
Oh yes, you'll want to get as many as you can to max them out.
Little fact about the Cloak of Skulls. As soon as we saw the unit art for that, I said to the team, I want to hear those skulls. Like, it's such a unique.
Yeah,
shape.
let the skulls
Very,
clatter.
very morbid, Chris.
Let them clatter and
It is
chatter.
a little bit. What's probably a bit more disturbing is when one of our team members said, "I got you sorted. Don't worry. I can get some bones, genuine bones." I was asking me questions other than don't know.
I know a guy.
No.
I know a guy.
Other than they were procured by humane means, so you know that's fine. But when you get up close
Got a
to
grave
the
robber
Skull
over at
Taker
CA.
on the battlefield, and you hear his cape, flowing around, you'll hear, real bones, on there.
That's
which is,
epic.
bit
Good.
gross, but
Awesome.
it's pretty
Very
cool.
cool.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Humane.
That's so great.
No
Love
further
that.
questions. I think we'll just leave it.
Very humane. Yeah, super humane.
Obviously, with all this paid content,
They
as well,
found
we also
willing
have,
donations.
the free stuff that comes, like the rebalancing, the patching, the bug fixes, the FLC, that sort of stuff.
He has such a nice
is there anything
beard.
coming as
I'm
part
envious of that
updates
beard. It looks
2.0
great.
You can talk about.
Way
Okay,
nicer
so,
than
The
mine.
team's been working really hard on loads of stuff behind the scenes on that. So let's start with the greenskins. So the greenskins are getting an update to the scrap system that we introduced in
Oh,
Warhammer 2 for
scrap
Warhammer
is
4.
very good.
There's going to be some UI and UX changes there. To just
Okay,
help
that
the
makes
flow,
sense.
Make it
UI.
a bit easier.
Yeah.
Get some of those nice upgrades that the Orcs and Goblins need for battle. So that should
Cool,
be
cool,
a fun
cool,
one. Now for the ogres, oh Steve, it's an ogre haul. So there's all sorts of stuff happening there. We're going to be having some updates to the Great Moor and the offerings there. But
Awesome.
one I quite like
Awesome.
is also what Josh was talking about earlier. So with the Ogre Paymaster, our new lord, all the Ogre lords are going to get big names now. So it's not just
Yay!
reserved to our legendary lords of the past. So that's a nice one.
Everybody
to
gets big
note.
names. I mean, tyrants and
then
hunters
Khorne.
have big
Khorne's
names,
got a
but
one. Khorne's got a
everybody.
great one. They got something called the Skull Throne. All their legendary lords are going to get access
Whoa!
to a panel, which will feature a variety of different.
Whoa! 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 The Skull Throne is an actual mechanic now. Oh, well, okay. So it used to be the Skull Throne was just a button at the top, and you clicked on the button, and it gave you some nice buffs, and that was it. Like it gave you some okay buffs. Like I think it gave you the ability to summon Bloodletters in combat, and it gave you like slightly larger blood hosts and some like stat buffs. This looks awesome. This kind of looks a lot like Tehenowin's pyramid mechanic, though it's not quite as large. But this is for all the Khorne factions. It looks like here you got your summon ability. What was the one that they moused over earlier?
And then Khorne. Khorne's got a big one. Khorne's got a great one. They got something called the Skull Throne, All their legendary lords are going to get access to this new panel, which will feature.
Oh yeah, there's your summon.
A variety of different.
Give Hungering Blades to all armies.
Accumulating through battles.
Instantly summon a blood host at your leader.
You're going to be spending them.
Hot
in this feature.
damn! Skulls are going to be actually useful.
Getting army ability.
Well, I mean they were, but they're going to be way more useful.
And as you progressively spend,
that's sick.
There, you're going to progress up the tower and then get to some of the big juicy buffs at the end. So
I'm very excited.
Lots of bones, Chris. The bone man over there. Indeed.
I'm very excited for that. That's sick. That's a nice update for Khorne.
So yeah, we've mentioned in the past that the FLC content that's coming with this is going to be for Khorne.
Oh.
And I think
Arbaal,
to say who it is.
Arbaal. Rich.
Are you ready?
Arbaal.
Take it away, Chris.
Arbaal.
This time around, our new legendary lord, free legendary lord, will be Arbaal.
Yes.
And he is a pretty exciting person to work with because he is.
Oh, look at him! Look at those
He wants
hordes!
to fight the biggest, baddest things on the battlefield.
Oh my God! Is he getting his
we
back
wanted to make sure
banner?
that he sounded, you know,
Oh,
mean,
look
mighty,
at that!
and
That
just
looks
giving it
fucking
his all.
sick.
So the order team, the dialogue team, did a great job in really channeling that.
Oh, I'm so excited.
That characteristic of him.
Definitely a very different take. And
So Khorne is great. You got a mortal legendary lord,
and,
a lesser demon, and a greater demon.
Got three
Hell
pretty great mix,
yes.
Khorne legendary lords
Hell
to
yes.
play with. And as Chris said, Arbaal's all going to be about taking on these biggest battles for his feature called the Wrath of Khorne.
Cool.
He's trying to do all the things in the eyes of Khorne himself, you know, to be that great champion. And
that's sexy.
We're playing around with ideas, which was playing to his lore as well. So if you dig deep on that, and if you hear about what happens to him if he wasn't to succeed, well, we've got some ideas around that.
So okay.
That also.
I'm very curious what Rich means by that. So for those that don't know, Arbaal has a special rule that's very fun in tabletop, but from a Total War perspective, seems very difficult to implement, which is that Arbaal the Undefeated is called that because he's undefeated. And according to his lore, if he ever fails, so if he ever loses a duel, or he's defeated by someone in a fight, or he has to run away from someone, so it's vaguely implied that like his army could lose a battle with him like kind of like fighting his way off. But like if he personally loses a fight, then he instantly turns into a chaos spawn. Like he's just fucking dead. He turns into a spawn forever, and he's functionally dead. Period. So it would basically mean that if you were playing Total War and he dies or loses a battle or retreats from a battle, that he should just turn into a spawn and he is dead forever. So I'm curious how they're gonna try and implement something to like make a callback to that.
Yeah, can you believe it?
That's crazy.
And that's the 100th legendary lord is
amazing.
Arbaal the
It's an amazing
Undefeated.
achievement when we first started way back.
I told y'all it wasn't
Many
going to be
working
like a
series for
whole
quite some time
thing.
now. I don't think in our wildest dreams we'd get to that number. We knew there was lots to make, but yeah, it's quite a moment.
Chris, let's talk a little bit more about audio.
Nagash and Thankful,
how
all in
all
good
of that
time.
comes
All in
together.
good time.
So what's your process, I guess, from like conceptualization of a DLC through to people hearing it for the first time and things like that?
Well, I think any audio team is quite lucky to work on Total War Warhammer because it is such a rich
Total
world
War Warhammer,
and
say what you
such
want.
Amazing characters.
It has
So is
S-tier
it is
audio.
a playground
Like
to work in.
S-tier
But
audio.
our process starts really when we see the unit roster come through and we start seeing some of that concept art, and we can start as our sort of departments, our dialogue department, sound design department, start planning out what we're doing at quite that early phase. So our really talented dialogue team, they sit down with our designers and narrative team, and they work out what we call a character bio. So this is all the characteristics of that unit or lord or whatever it might be.
Cool.
How big they are, where they're from, what's their age, what makes them tick, what there's some vocal characteristics that we might be expecting. And from that, they go away to a really extensive casting process, and we get lots and lots of talented actors to come in and read for these parts. And then we do, like this casting process is quite extensive. We make sure that we really nail, so everyone's kind of
That's like
score and has an
that's
opinion
like my
on these things
last
until we kind of go,
whale
right,
with the
that's
Total War
one,
Warhammer trilogy.
That's the match up
Like,
to those units.
if they ever, hey, see, if you're ever watching this,
we'll do some prototyping on maybe.
if you're ever watching this, if y'all ever need just a random voice for someone like doing literally anything at all, hit me up. I won't even tell anyone. I'll take it as a secret to my grave. Like that. Oh, that'd be sick. Just be like a random dude yelling in a unit or something. Like you want actual voice actors for like characters that are talking. I would never be one of those. But like, if you ever need like a random dude just screaming stupid bullshit in the background,
Processing, make it may sound a bit
You know,
corny or maybe a bit.
hit me up.
A bit more ogre. And then finally, doing what the team are doing right now is onto the actual recording. So our script writers have put together, really great scripts for the characters. I can't wait for the audience to see what we've got this time around.
Great.
And our sound design team, meanwhile, even before we start getting animations or VFX in, we can look at these unit rosters and go do some research
Though
and look up the
sound
rules.
design guys,
What we really like doing is seeing
what I
where there's
need
something
from
unique
you,
or some characteristic
like
we wanna bring out with,
we need
with the,
Alberic de
with the sound
Bordelot
design.
to get an
And
actual
the great
voice
thing about Total
actor,
War
like a
is
unique voice.
The scale is,
And if y'all
from
could
the giant battlefield right down to the
Throg,
so with,
the Troll King, like redo his lines, redo his scripts,
so we
make him
can
actually
make sure that
match
they are their abilities
his
or
lore
their
accurate
projectiles,
portrayals
their
and
weapons,
literally
to
everything
the
Games
final
Workshop
sound
has
really
done
big,
where he
so the player
talks.
knows exactly what's going
That
on in
would
the battlefield or
be
can have
super
an idea
cool.
in that
Please
chaos
do
that
that.
there's something big
Please.
and bad
Those
happening
two
over there.
characters really need
The right
audio.
place, to
goodies.
all the,
Please.
all the character movements. So
Please.
we break our layers down into footsteps and character armor, so they might have something unique in their armor, right the way to their vocalizations as well. So we spend a lot of time making sure that all that language of stuff is brought together with the sound. So it's a really fun process.
You don't really think about that when you're playing the game and you're hearing all the sounds
I'm
together,
glad
every
they're
single one of
using
those
these interviews
sounds
to not
have
only
like a
reveal stuff. Like the reveals are
process
cool,
Yeah,
that is
but
labeled
I
together.
love
There's
that
nothing-
they're just
there's
letting
nothing
people
for free
get
in
to
this,
see
unfortunately.
some of
We've
the
gotta-
faces
we've gotta
behind the
design
game and just
everything
talk
from
about
scratch. But the team have
the
really,
process
really
of
good time.
making the
It's
game.
challenging.
I
because, the
really
designers
like these dev
throw a lot
interviews.
at
I
you, what do they
love
wanna do?
these dev interviews.
It's fun though. It's fun.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not sorry.
The great thing about with us is we are bouncing off of what the amazing character artists, what the animators, what the VFX team do. So we can help bring all their amazing work to life with the sound, and hopefully the players kind of feel that, so it will feel visceral and feels real, and they have a good time doing it. So yeah.
You've got some weird techniques, haven't you, on the team? Like how you make some of the sounds.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, this time round, we kind of had a bit of a bonus. So when we had the squigs, so we've got the traditional little squigs, and we've got this gigantic colossal squig. It's a chance for us to kind of maybe rework a little bit of the older content that we've got in the game. So
Very
make the
cool.
Squigs sound even squiggier, a bit gross.
New squig
Of course,
audio.
we've got this giant one, so we
Hilarious.
really want
Hilarious.
to just sound really gross. The team kind of go above and beyond, and there's some.
I love it. I love
I
it.
saw the footage come through the recording session because we've actually got a team out in Sofia of sound designers, and they really love recording stuff from scratch. And it was
Good old Team Sophia.
quite possibly the grossest recording session I've ever had. I'm pretty sure porridge and yogurt and all sorts of weird things were involved to make, bring out the inner squig.
What do you want the squigs to sound like? What?
Yeah, it was quite
They went above and beyond. They really did, and they certainly
Spongy.
turned some people's stomachs here when they saw the footage.
Actually, I think we've got the clip that we can show. So.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate that. I hate that.
When you're playing and you see the colossal squig and you hear those wonderful
I
sounds,
hate that
think of
so
poor
much.
Dev sucking on porridge.
I hate that more than I can
At least we didn't
express.
have to do that, Steve.
I hate that so much.
Speaking of that,
It's true.
group recordings.
Group
right?
recordings, yeah, we love to get our devs involved. So I remember we have these
I
emails that
hate
go
that
out and say,
so
right,
much.
okay, we need to do a group recording session for our ogres or our Khorne units. And yeah, the team deliver and don't disappoint. And I think We usually
Thank you.
Yeah. Steve did one as well this time around.
Rich and I, we've done
Yeah.
some of the battle cries and stuff like that. So we're in there
It was
somewhere.
good fun, wasn't it?
It was great, although I couldn't speak for a day.
No, I think my voice drops about 2 octaves after that. So everyone thinks I've got some horrendous cold afterwards. But yeah, it's really good fun, and you hear it in the game. You know, you get this, this sound of the army, right? It's and it's the team group do a great job processing.
Once again,
all the stuff
audio
together,
for
so
Warhammer is
it's,
amazing.
The units,
Absolutely amazing.
You feel them on the units, great.
3, 2, 1. For the Blood God! 3, 2, 1. For the Blood God! Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Slaughter! Perfect. 3, 2, 1.
British yell. British
That's
yell.
what the team have done.
British
All
yell.
incredible work. And
British yell.
We've got all the sound design and we've got all the dialogue together. Then we start the mixing process, and actually that's the bit that I love the most, is actually hearing everything all together. And we start balancing everything against each other. So we make sure that the most important sounds are heard on the battlefield, and all the tiny details when the characters get nice and close are audible as well. And it's just the final sheen, the final polish on everything. Few last minute feedback notes, are always natural in this process, in our iterations phase. But that's the bit where we kind of put the final audio polish on it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
Rewarding hearing all of that come together into that final product.
Yeah, so much hard work goes into it from the audio team as well as the wider team, and it's it is the final step that you kind of go, we got something good in the bag there.
I love that
Just
artwork
makes it, doesn't it? Just
for the
immerses you
DLC. It looks so sexy.
into the world.
Well, thank you guys for joining me for this today. It's been really great to give some more information about the next DLC and Update 6.0. We'll be back later this month with the official trailer, as well as some gameplay showcases and things like that on the run-up to release. So once again, Rich, Josh, Chris, thanks again for joining us, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Okay,
Bye.
so couple things. Interesting. Okay, so that basically confirms that the DLC will probably release first or second week of December. If the trailer's coming out in a couple weeks, then you're looking at, usually the trailer comes out and there's anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks until they release everything. But I think this was...
I am once again sat down with some of our awesome development team, including Rich, Josh, and Sean. Before we... Sean,
you're not Sean.
it's not your name.
That's great.
I'm obviously pining for Sean. Yeah.
Can we have Sean to floor 1, please?
Where's Sean?
Name.
Where's Sean?
Yeah.
That's great. So, a couple interesting things. Number one, we're looking at this December release, which is good. That's awesome. I'm glad it's this year. I think it's very reasonable for everyone, myself included, to have probably been getting a little nervous as we were kind of hurtling towards November of like, is it going to be this year? Is it going to be like, because I really want it to be this year, not next year. So it seems like we're looking at a December release, and I think for them to be like, yeah, trailer's coming out in a couple weeks, I would say it sounds like they feel pretty confident about that, which is great. Excellent. So probably December release, which is excellent. Very exciting. Good Christmas present for everybody. I think that's totally reasonable. Don't quote me on this, but I think this is the last developer roundtable. They might do one more, but I would guess that it's probably just going to be like the trailer and then more standard stuff of like showing off the mechanics, showing off the units, as we're used to with prior DLCs. I would guess that's going to be the plan, the strategy, but we'll have to see on that. But this is super fucking exciting. I'm extremely pleased with everything we've seen so far. Do let me know what y'all think down below, especially for the new reveals. So the Ogre Paymaster, the Pigback Riders, the Khorne Blood Speaker, and Snagla Grobspit, the Night Goblin Big Boss, and the Black Orcs with Shields. I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on all of those down below. Is there anything you're disappointed in? Is there anything you're particularly excited about? Is there anything that any of the new like feature reveals, like the rework of the Skull Throne, the chat about the like all ogre characters are going to have big names now instead of just like tyrants, hunters, and legendary lords. Rework to the scrap system for Greenskin, so it has like a new UI. It's going to look a lot better, and it's got some other improvements. Let me know what you think about all that down below. I'm quite excited. I feel so much safer and happier with the dev cycle for this DLC than I have in years, it feels like. Them doing these little developer roundtables and allowing us to like get a little trickle of goodies. You know, they reveal a couple little things each time. I think is so wonderful. It's really lovely. I love that they're kind of humanizing the dev team by having some like faces come on and explain how they make things, how they make the decisions, what are the processes behind it. I think these roundtables are genius. And I think this DLC, which we still don't know the name of, presumably the name will be revealed with the trailer, I guess. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this. I hope it's going to be great. I hope it's going to be awesome. But yeah, that's it for me. So appreciate you all watching. If you were like, God damn it, Sotek was talking over the whole thing, make sure to go check it out. Watch it yourself. I will have links down below in the video description. I'll have a link to this actual video. And then in the pinned comment, I'll have a link to my prediction videos if you want to go check those out and get some more information about the various units we talked about today. But yeah, that'll be me. Please take care. Stay safe out there. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye.